Hey guys, welcome back to the Joe Jaguar Show, your best friend in science, astronomy, and telescopes. So, the Milky Way looks gorgeous right now. You can see definitely Cygnus, the Northern Cross. You can see Vega constellation, Altair constellation. Summer is finally here, and it's clear. You just look at the Hercules cluster. I mean, it's directly overhead, like almost 100% straight up. So that's going to be the best time to look. The higher you look up, the Dumbbell nebula, and probably the next brightest nebula. What about the Ring Nebula? You know? So let's take a look at those three items. Let's see how we see it. As you can see, I'm almost pointing almost right overhead, and this is the problem with Dobson's, because pointing straight up, there's a little bit of a space that Dobsons don't do too well, directly almost up. I like what's going on here. Okay, I just moved the camera over this way. You guys can see the star sense over there. I don't need it. The Hercules cluster, I was just talking to, I guess, a subscriber on the channel. He found it very hard to find. He kept on texting me, and I kept helping him, like, no, if you will see it. It's going to just pop right into the eyepiece. Okay, that is amazing. So for you guys that haven't seen it, it's just, you can see a huge ball of light. But you could also see thousands of little pricks of light. So definitely, the hardest thing right now is because it's almost, like I said, Dobson's looking almost at the 90 degree, has a very hard time reaching this little circle at the top. I don't know if you guys have experience with actually what is kind of hard right now. So if it was at a different angle, probably would be easier to move. So let's see. Okay, putting in a 13 Nagler, which isn't super high power, but a little bit in the medium range, I would say. Now you can clearly see thousands upon thousands of little starlights. This is a favorite among us experienced people. Even if you've seen it 1,000 times, you'll keep coming in the summer and taking a quick, even if it's a 10 or 15 minute look, and show people. This is the one to show. That's why it's called the Great Cluster. Now, I have seen the Omega, a globular cluster, once from Mexico, and it's probably could be 3 times bigger than this one, and that was amazing too. I'm going back to Mexico in September, but I don't think that's the perfect time to see the Omega. I think it might be like setting at around 7:30, just as it's getting kind of dark. So I don't know if I'll even see it at all, if there's it's not truly dark. So I'll have to see. Anyway, guys, so there we go. So there's this cluster. So let's go to the Dumbbell. Now, from what I remember, the Dumbbell is actually fairly large. I don't know if you guys are going to see it very clearly, depending on your light pollution and how big of a telescope you have. But you could also try nebula filters. I have used them for many years, and they work very well. Good. Pointing a little bit more, I would say like 55 or 60 degrees. So it's still in a good position. And we're going to try first without no filters. Okay, guys, with a 38 millimeter 1.25 inch, and with this light on, with the star sense on, so I'm not fully dark adapted, no nebula filter, easy, you can see it. It's fairly nice and fairly big. Like, if I could see it, a nice size inside the eyepiece, that's with a 38 millimeter, which is pretty low. So it's pretty big. Now, I don't think I see any color or anything. Okay, so popping in a 13 Nagler. Again, I don't think I see any color. It's more like light grays, dark grays, medium grays, like different shades of silver and gray. Have you guys seen the nebula, the dumbbell, where it looks like a dumbbell, but sometimes in long exposures, you can kind of see the opposite, where it kind of closes in the dumbbell? Maybe I'll try to point it out I'll try to get a picture, but it kind of looks like that. It just doesn't look like a dumbbell. There's the outer extensions on the opposite side. So it's definitely, if you guys could ever come to like a Bortle 2 and look at this nebula from there, I would definitely recommend it. Super, super bright. Why don't we try with a nebula filter? Okay, so I have the Thousand Oaks nebula filter, and probably most people would say the narrow band filter is probably the best one. So I'm just going to try that one for now. Actually, you know what I can see even with this light? I can see the coma cluster easily with my eyes. I'm not even talking about binoculars or anything. I see like a big glow right there. It's probably, I don't know, 18 degrees north of the constellation Leo. But it's just amazing when you can see like open clusters with your eyes. And you can definitely see the Milky Way branches off, like it goes down to Cygnus. And then there's, the two branches. One goes through the Altar, it goes lower, and then one goes higher up. So those are kind of like, I believe, hopefully I'm on camera still. Those are the two arms that is outside of our arm, which is definitely cool. To tell you the truth, it kind of looks very similar to what I was seeing before. You can see the dumbbell and then the extensions on the opposite sides of the dumbbell. The nebula just, it was bright before, but it just darkened the stars around it, and I don't see a great difference. Okay, we're going to try another filter. We're going to try the Oxygen 3 filter, which is even more stronger or more narrow, let's say, depending how you word it, I guess. But maybe for the people that are not familiar, I said stronger because it means it blocks more of the starlight out, but it's more narrow as well. Wow, okay, that's a huge difference. Okay, I would not recommend it. The O3 is so dark that I barely see the nebula at all. I mean, I can see it still, but it's very dim. Like if this guy was maybe like a 6-inch or something like that. So I probably, the narrow band was definitely better. We're going to try one more. The third filter we're going to try is, I guess I would call it the weakest filter, or the one that blocks the least, called the broadband filter. So that should block less, but let's see what I think. Okay, you know what? I think the two filters that I do like, at least on the Dumbbell Nebula, is the broadband filter, because it looks still very bright. I don't really see too much in the way of better than without any filter. And the narrow band filter is probably, they're about a tie. But both of them let you see enough starlight, brings out the nebula a tad more, but it was pretty bright before anyway. It could be, I believe, if memory serves me correctly, like when you're in the city and it's more washed out or gray, then the nebulas help you more to at least darken the light pollution out. But since I'm here and it's virtually the second darkest skies you can get to, it seems like I don't even need a nebula filter at all. If you guys do have some light pollution, that's probably where it's going to come in handy. Okay guys, we are now going to go to the Ring Nebula. Now from my memory, and for you guys that haven't seen it too often or new, the Ring Nebula is kind of small. You have to actually kind of push the power. I don't think I'm going to see it with like we're starting again with the other two, a 38 millimeter, 1.25 inch. And I don't think I'm going to be able to see the donut with the 38. I probably got to push the power a bit more, but let's check it out and see. Okay, so as you can see, we're looking at the ring nebula now, and you can kind of see the height. So I'm probably at least, I don't know, I'm guessing. I do have one of those digital angle things, but that's at home. I don't normally use that anymore. But you could definitely see I'm probably between 60, 65, or 70, kind of pointing upwards. Now, you know what? I can see the ring nebula, but it's very, very small donut, okay? Nowhere near as big as the Dumbbell nebula. So if you have, and remember, this has a 1500 millimeter focal length, so if you have something like a 7 or 800, it would be half the size of this, and it's just going to look like a starlight or a star, I think, because it's pretty small on here. And mind you, if you have a little bit more light pollution than here, it's probably, you won't be able to tell. But I can definitely see it in a 38 millimeter, which is kind of low power. Okay, we are going to pop in the 13 Nagler. And at this size, you can clearly see, again, 1500 millimeter focal length, 13 Nagler. You can definitely see the donut shape, and it's extremely bright. But as far as the size, I would say 6 to 8 times smaller than the Dumbbell nebula. I think this guy here, we could push the power like fairly decent more. Okay, why don't we try a 6.7 ultra wide angle? I don't know what the power of that is, but I'll try to figure it out after and just let you know. Definitely it's much bigger now. And with a 6.7, now you can see the donut. You can see there's like a hole in the middle. That's why we call it a donut. And it's bright. Like it's not like, oh, I think I see it. It's like boom. It's very bright in this size, in this type of location. So again, you guys that haven't seen it, take a look at it. For you experienced people, because obviously I want to, talk a little bit about the non-experienced people, what to look and what to power. But for you experienced people that have seen it 100 times, how do you see it? What zone do you see it in, and what size? And is it popping right in your face type of thing? Well, I guess with the Dobson, it's already gone. Like it's not in the field of view, so that's the only thing with a non-tracking amount. But it's not so hard to bring it back. But if you do have like people in line, or you're showing people and you're at this power, then it's, you're probably going to have to tweak it after every one person, I would say. Okay, guys, so that's it for this one. We took a look at the Hercules cluster, which is amazing. Regardless if you're new or experienced, you always got to look at that one. As well as a Dumbbell. You got to look how big that sucker is. It's very easy to see. And this one is very easy to see as well. So there's a 3 that is a nice summertime. And especially if you guys bring your telescope to a dark site, show a couple people this, because these are the 3 things that are kind of going to blow people's minds. Of course, there are others as well, but these are always like a top 10 pick. The Milky Way, too. Show them that, how bright it is. It's just amazing. Anyway, guys, that's it for this episode. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you on the next episode, on the next 3 items. And I do have members video where I put a video just for the members. It's only 99 cents, so why don't you give it a shot and join that? And if you know anybody getting in the hobby, share my channel with them. If you're beginner, intermediate, advanced, I'm sure my videos touch a little bit on all that different stuff. I'd like to hear from your point of view all the time. Why not you? Why not me?